think if you just look at the gods, you can say that Ahh Stop Smite has the advantage, but man, just Muffin Man on this honor. I have to give it to Galactic Gangster here, and with the
Okay.
Kumba combo, so excited to see what they can do this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. And the Apollo made it through the first phase. He's going to be banned out here. And as you mentioned, that Honor, it's really nice to see, the aggression in Honor. That's why you picked the god to play aggressive, and hopefully we'll be able to see that here today. As Tsukiyomi is banned out in the second phase of bans here. And Rom is another ADC banned as they're looking to really ban away the ADC from Ahh Stop Smite.
I'm surprised we don't see a Jingwei ban. I think Jingwei is one of the counter of Honor because just if Honor dash Honor, it just escape. I just think Jingwei is such a great safe pick. He jump on you, you can put your whirlwind on top of him. So there's a lot of possibility with Jingwei. That's what I do with my team. We like to do counter picks. So I'm surprised that Jingwei is not banned, but maybe they did the research against the other ADC and saw that he doesn't play Jingwei, and we see all great team fights ult in the side of Ahh Stop Smite. So great team comp and the Loki pick.
Wow. I mean, Loki is definitely a very split hair pick. He hasn't locked it in yet, so we'll see if he ends up taking it. But the Olaran is picked in the ADC, not someone we've seen in a while there, Mark.
Yeah, well, Olaran is, I think he's kind of forgetting, especially since they nerfed the Ring of Ikate. But I still think he's such a great god. Like, you can just...
Definitely.
And you can change team fight. You can look... And also, it fits really well with their team comp. You can see the Unbattle, the Ganesha, all mixed up with the Olaran ult. It's just going to be crazy team fight if they can synchronize really well in team fight. So, honestly, I'm not surprised, but a little bit because we don't see him often. It's just a little bit forgetting, in my opinion. But we see him in the World Championship, so...
Yep.
You just give them some option and like some idea to, okay, Olaran is so good, so we're just going to play it.
Yeah, we'll see how that Olaran actually plays out. And as you mentioned, the ultimates on the side of Ahh Stop Smite, the Hun Bats ult, the Chang'e ult, you don't want to be hit with any of those ults, especially not inside of an Olaran ult. That could be just a world of trouble for you.
Yeah, they're going to need to be careful. But at the same time, we can see a lot of CC immune ult coming from the Galactic Gangster with the Loki ult, Stellar ult, Nike ult, Kumba ult, Honor ult. So pretty much 5 CC immune ult. So
yeah,
if they can play it well, maybe they can do some stuff in team fight to counter all of their big circle or square ult that take every part of the lane. So I'm pretty excited with those two team comps. It's hard to tell who's going to win it, but I think if Ahh Stop Smite play really well as a 5-man, they have the potential to win much late game than what the Galactic Gansters can do with their early team comp.
For sure. And I mean, as mentioned before, we haven't seen Galactic Gangsters yet. We don't really know what they're going to bring in terms of a team on the SDL stage. So this is going to be an interesting game for them. And yeah, as you mentioned, 5 CC immune ults, that's a really easy escape for almost all the people on that team.
Yeah, and also, well, Galactic Gangster, if you part of one of the team in the Reap Smite League, you probably get a message from one of them say, do you want to scream? Do you want to scream? Guys been prepared so much. I believe in them. Even my team, my feed, play against them and scream twice. So
nice.
I think a lot in the last 2 weeks since they just built that team. And I think they have the potential to be clearly one of the best team in the SDL. So I'm pretty excited to see them playing their first league game and just show what they did in practice and in scrim. And if they still have the chemistry, it takes time to build, but like I said, all of them are all good players and they can make a difference in this league.
For sure. It's going to be definitely something to watch. Personally, I'm interested in seeing how this Olaran is going to function because we haven't really seen it too often in team comps nowadays with the healer meta. So it's really going to be interesting to see it interact with, the ult and all the healing going on around it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you bring. Olaran is not the best healer, but they have a lot of sustain coming out from Ahh Stop Smite. They have the Olaran heal, the Chang'e heal, the Mulan can heal herself. So a lot of sustain coming from that team, so they can still take a big fight retreat a little bit, just heal themselves, and go back in team fight. So if they play their sustain, you have the advantage here with just the team counts, but I think it's all going to come to who's played better in that game, and all like which player is better. So, because both of them, all with their team count, if they play well, they have the chance to win. But I think it's all going to come down to who's better as a 5-man, who's going to take the objective, who's going to win team fight. And I think it all's going to come down to this.
Definitely, it's super hard to lose a Smite game in the picks and bans. It's definitely going to come down to your team synergy and your 5 stacking and whatever happens in the game. But yeah, as you've mentioned, potentially on paper, us might have just a little bit of an advantage.
Well, just a little bit. Like, it's not a lot. It's not like if like Galactic Gangster went Odin, that team and their team comes like, okay, well they got Odin. On the other side, that almost have anybody that can escape. But it's not what we're seeing. We see 2 teams that have a fair chance to win with a lot of great gods. Like, you can just look at the Honor, the Scylla that we saw in the World Championship. The Kumba is a little bit less seen these days too, but key pick, it's pretty usual. It's one of the safer solo laner right now. Just a big, strong team fight too. So all of them, these gods, are like pretty meta right now, just being picked really often. You can see the Chang'e, the older run. It's not really seen often, but the Young Bat's still a great gods. Still consistent with his whole bring. You can destroy a backline, so that's what I want to see from the Young Bats. Put the Ganesha ult on top, Unbats hold the backline, and the overrun follow up. So they have a great potential in team fight from both sides. So pretty excited to see that.
Yeah, agreed, definitely. And definitely we would need to see some sort of anti-heal come out from Galactic Gangsters. That Chang'e is definitely a handful in terms of late game team fights, mid game team fights, with that healing and sustained potential for his whole team.
Well, so they want to see it's how the other run's going to build too. We see starting probably tier 1 ring of Ekate. So I'm not super sold to that build. I love to have a Bancroft, but that's just in my opinion. I just think Bancroft brings you so much. Just a passive, make you do more damage with less HP that you have. And this guy doesn't have the best mobility in game, so I think Bancroft can save your life. I know you have your heal to peel yourself. I don't think the rushing ring is the play, but maybe he's gonna make it work. He wants the early basic attack, so I want to see him having success on this guy.
Yeah, we'll see how the early game ends up here for these guys in the duo lane. Everything looking pretty standard for both teams in terms of relics. We do have the Chang'e on the blink, which is an interesting start. Maybe that Chang'e is looking to be really aggressive here.
Well, that's something I'm surprised, especially with the amount of CC that Galactic Gangster. I know you have the CC immune ability in our kit, but I don't think it's enough with the Kumba. Kumba is known to burn beads, so
yeah, there's a lot of CC in that Kumba. So I mean, you can get yawned and then still CC'd afterwards, right, when your 2 is down. So lots of potential there as we see on her jumping forward. As you talked about the aggressive play from Muffin, man, he's looking to make an impact right away with that aggressive dash, but nothing happening there as they're just going to head back in the jungle. And there's some action here in the mid lane. Hunbat's brought down low. Loki looking for a pick really early, but not going to be able to pick it up. Lots of good pressure here so far for Banjo on that Loki.
Well, I'm surprised Loki, especially the way he builds, seems like no, it's weird. I cannot tell if he's going to go Glad Shield, or Void Shield, Berserker Shield, even like a Shifter Shield. Ambas has still a good early game. Maybe Clear is not as good as the Scylla and facing the Chang'e, so maybe that's why he took. So he's not just going to be stuck to farming for the next minute until he back and get full HP, and he's not going to be able to gank. So I think Galactic Gangsters should realize that Ambas not going to be there to gank in the next minute.
Yeah, it's a lot of good poke, and Hunbats, as you mentioned here, he's hanging around these oracles. He's not going to be able to secure it, and he's now in a bit of trouble from this Loki. He is very, very low, but he's going to be able to survive. As you mentioned, super low. He's not going to have an impact on those oracles, and it's it's a little bit of free farm here for Galactic Gangsters, as they're able to get those oracles on the left side and now rotate back and get an early start on clearing, as the Soul Lane's got a bit of action here. Mulan brought down low. Nike's getting her strikes, and she's going to be able to almost clean up Mulan. 1 HP, and Mulan is going to be able to survive. Some great good pressure from Arc Effect early in the Soul Lane, as she's got a bit of an advantage in the solo lane so far.
Yeah, well, Nike has such a good wave clear, and the shield that she have to push people is super annoying. Like, I know Mulan has 3 to pull out the Nike from of her shield, but it's still super hard to hit that ability, in my opinion. Mulan is one, like, she doesn't have the best escape, and I think this ability is still weird, in my opinion. So Nike just safe, good wave clear, good pressure. So I'm not surprised to see Mulan getting a little bit behind and get outpoked by the Nike.
Definitely. We did see Scylla dash through the wall there into mid lane with very low mana. No aggression poured on from the Chang'e though, and she's able to just back off. But definitely some aggressive play we've seen so far from Galactic Gangsters. The On Her and Scylla look very aggressive, as well as the Nike. So lots of pressure coming from them, and they're having a bit of a farm lead so far to show for it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, except the Scylla, that's more late to mid game. Loki has still a good early game with his crit on his passive. If you hit someone from behind, he has his crit. The Nike, like I was saying a bit earlier, good pressure, good wave clear. But the Honor Kumba is just a super aggressive dual line early. Great pull, great CC. So I'm not surprised Galactic Gangster take a little bit of advantage those first 4 minutes. So at least Ahh Stop Smite still have a good game team, so they're not really behind right now. So at least they don't give anything to them. Like they just lost the oracles, but it's not that much. Like they're not losing, they didn't get killed. So that's what you want from Ahh Stop Smite. You don't want Galactic Gangster to be in the lead that you cannot go far back enough to just not be able to go back in that game.
Oh, and we're seeing Nike with a bit of an aggressive move here on the Mulan. Gonna be able to clear that wave before and put some pressure onto this Mulan now, looking to shield towards her own tower, getting some poke off now, really low. Still has that ultimate to use, and Mulan is going to use her own ultimate to try to secure her life, and first blood is taken real early from On Her in that dual lane. Hunbat's chasing him down now. Arc Effect does pick up Mulan in that right lane, and that is 2 quick kills as On Her is super low, and he is going to be able to get out 2 early picks here for Gangsters. As hold that thought, Hunbat's is actually coming with the blink. He is so close, but he's got no mana to cast an ability there. Ganesh is going to use the pillars through the wall, and Big P picks up the first kill of the game for Ahh Stop Smite, in return picking up Muffin Man.
Yeah, they were so hungry for that Honor. I'm not mad because Honor, like I was saying earlier, if you give him a lead, he's just going to run that game. So I'm happy that Big P just run out, say, I got all, I'm going to have him. You cannot catch him, so I'm going to catch him. And we see the get the Mulan 50% HP. Maybe she's gonna be able to steal his blue, but Chang'e is here too.
Yeah, good rotation. Great rotation from Chang'e over to that right side to be able to secure that blue for the team. And yeah, as you mentioned, it's really good to aggro, get that kill onto the On Her and really help him, you know, slow down the lead that he had off of that first blood.
Yeah, what we just saw a little bit, it was a little bit late, but it seems like Honor got a kill on a rotation from the Unbats too. It seemed like it was a 2-for-1, but still almost drop out.
Oh, so close. Hunbats again to another kill. He just can't find it, and Dan Smite gets picked up in the duo lane. Kamazots was taken on another kill as well, and Scylla is picked up. These Ganesh ults are doing some work here, and Chang'e will take credit for that kill. I'm not sure if it was the pillars that picked it up, but that is a first kill onto the Chang'e, who's actually going to use her blink in aggressively towards the Kumba, the knockup from the Ganesh, but they still have to pick up the passive of the Kumbi sitting in the tower, and Chang'e is going to fall victim to the tower instead of letting Ganesh take the aggro. That ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade as Chang'e and Kumbi both fall in that tower.
Yeah, well, at the same time, Muffin Man got another solo kill on the Older Run, so not surprised Older Run doesn't have the best early game. Meanwhile, Honor is known for his crazy, insane damage early game. So, and also, Ganesh ult on point this game. Just get kills and just give kills to Chang'e. So he's been on point with his own little mistake coming from Changa. Stay a little bit too long under this tower, but man, big peaked, big old man. Keep good, keep going like this, my man.
Yeah, and Loki, it looks like he's looking here for this speed for a second consecutive time, as Hunbats is not around to claim it right away. He didn't have the timer, and Loki is going to drop the speed for the second time in a row. And this is the thing is Loki played this smart. He saw the ganks happening in his left side, and he was able to take victim of that speed buff and almost steal the blue, as well as Mulan is taking a chunk of damage from Nike, just hitting super hard after picking up that kill earlier. And Oloran is now going to ult on her, that is 3 levels ahead of him, so close to picking up that kill. The autos are not going to be able to find their mark. He is now looming forward. He might have his one up here in a second. He is going to find it, and it's not going to be able to hit in range. So close to picking up that kill, but he is just off the mark, as Loki actually is lurking on this left side now towards this Oloran, who is still level 7, and he is falling back towards his tower. It's not going to be fast enough reaction from Dan Smite, who did have his beads, but his ult was down, and he was in big trouble there.
He was so short, sadly, for the Oloran. Didn't hold this 1-2 long enough, so he hits the honor, but I'm not sure if it would have been enough. Maybe a lucky crit would have been enough, but still so short. And also, we don't see a lot of wards coming from Ahh Stop Smite, and we can see a lot of little red pings on the map from Galactic Gansters. So maybe Oloran didn't see the Loki coming, but I think that's literally what happened. And we see the Loki answer my question earlier. He went the Glad Shield. A little bit mad,
right?
Like the Glad Shield rush. Doesn't work really well if you don't have any other items in your kit, like a sledge or like a void shield, any other defense item that just help the Glad Shield procs. So I know you have the cooldown, the damage, the HP, but still, if you don't play the passive of the Glad Shield, I don't think it's worth it to have it early. But still, you have the cooldown, so it's still like not too bad.
Yeah, and he now has that 2-level lead over Hunbats in the jungle. Hunbats aggressively heading onto this left side, maybe looking to take a peek at that red. It's just spawning. He's not going to be able to look at it in time. He now looks over to the purple, but Honor is there, and he is 3 levels ahead. Hunbats is really playing an aggressive play onto this purple. He's leashing it away. He's killed the 2 smalls, but Honor is looking to just secure his purple. He's just going to jump away into his tower instead, not looking to take a Hunbats ult to the face, as Oloran is going to come over and claim his prize, but not if Honor has anything to say about it. He's going to pillar and look to aggress some damage on him. He's not going to get anything as the teams converge here for a potential fight, as Oloran is caught really deep into this jungle. He's headed the wrong way. The base is the other way. His beads come out. The Hunbats ult comes out onto the Honor in retaliation. Another great Ganesh ult as the jump comes away from Honor. Dino is going to pick up 2 kills with Scylla ult. Now heading Chunga, and the Loki ult's appeal is fantastic. Ganesh falls as well, and that is 4 kills from Galactic Gangsters. 2 for Loki and 2 for Scylla. A great team fight from Galactic Gangsters.
Yeah, and now they're just heading on the gold free, so it's going to be a free gold free for Galactic Gangster. But for a new team, having that much chemistry and just how much that team fight went so good for them, it's just impressive. Like, these guys have been together for only 2 weeks maximum, and just the way they just communicate and just all rotating as a four-man, all on as the same target in mind. They all went for the Oloran. Switch up for the Young Bats when the Oloran was up after the Kumba just ult him. A great follow-up by their still I'm a monster. Like, impressive play coming from all these players. I know they were all great players, but it's not like it's something to be a great player, but it's something else to be a great team. And I think they just show up that they can be a great team too. And we see Nike take that tier 1 tower in right lane too. So Galactic Gangster just built a 5k gold lead after 10 minutes. So it's really impressive seeing them play that way.
Yeah, it's a huge lead that we've seen so far, and most of it is in that jungle. 3 levels for Loki over top of the Hunbats, and as you mentioned, that T1 tower falling early in the game. Nike just using that pressure that she had gotten over Mulan, completed her Stone of Gaia, already heading on to a potential sledge or an item in the hammer tree as Ganesh dashing to get away, but still fighting in that soul lane going on, and Mulan is not looking the better for it, as Loki looking to ult towards the Hunbats. He has done it in by the own red camp, falling away. He's just gonna fall back now, looking to claim his own XPs, but real aggressive play from Loki as Mulan is now in some danger. Nike heading towards her with a 3rd HP left, and Mulan might be able to survive here as her damage is coming out. Her ult is still up though, and her jump is going to be able to secure the kill. Loki picks up a kill in mid lane as well as the fight goes down. Really good for Galactic Gangsters here.
Yeah, well, like honestly, man, everything goes so well for Galactic Gangster. We see Nike putting pressure on that tier 2 tower in right lane. It seems like nobody's gonna stop her from doing that.
That's gonna fall.
Lane, maybe you're gonna pick the honor, so I want to see that happening right now. It seems, yeah, they got him. So pretty happy to see honor fall down. Give some level to Auron, and we cannot forget that Stop Smite has a good late game team comp, so it's not over for them. They still need to remind themselves, guys, we are a late game team. We have a great ult in late game. We have a lot of potential with that all-around ult, the Ganesh ult, and the Chaga damage late game is going to be like they have all the gods that needs, like that can make a difference late game. So they still need to remind themselves they can make a difference late game, and don't forget that. That's something most of the team forget. We're behind, this game is over, but I want them to keep their head up and tell themselves we can play this until 30 minutes if we want to, because we're going to have the advantage at this point.
Yeah, and they definitely can. It's definitely going to be a contribution towards how the game goes if they can make it last this long. But the aggressive play from Galactic Gangsters is just too much to handle, and it seems like Stop Smite as Hunbats here is just going to fall to Loki in the jungle for a third time now. Loki picking up his 5th kill, and almost as many times as he's stolen the speed buff, he's doing it again for a 3rd or 4th time as he meets Ganesh in mid lane here. It's just very aggressive play for Galactic Gangsters, and it seems like maybe Stop Smite isn't respecting the level and gold lead that they have as much as they should as Honor picks up another kill.
Yeah, I think you explained it really well. I think Smite not looking to farm, but just want to get back in lead by getting some kills, but I don't think that's the way that you should do it. Just try to keep your farm, try to make maybe a 4-man rotation in the dual lane, see if you can pick up the honor like they did earlier. I think that's the way they can catch up, but it's not going to be by fighting in mid lane, because it's going to be 3v3 in mid lane, so you're not going to win this to almost 3 level behind from everybody. So it's not going to be that way. Like, combat should not be there at this point. This overrun's not there. You should just go back to farm, take the little like buff that you can see on your map and just try to take them safely, get some level, get some item, and get back in that game. Like, and ward the objective too. That's something they need to do it, because either way, Galactic Gangsters are just gonna take those freely, and that's what we saw. They take it free after 7 minutes, and they seem like they're gonna group up for another one pretty much soon in the next minute.
Yeah, that gold theory coming up, and Pyro is available to them as well if they were looking to group up for that. Nike having those 2 towers both down on her side, she's gonna have free reign over this blue buff, because if Mulan contests, she's just gonna kill her. So heads up play from the Nike to pick up some more farm in that case, and it seems like Stop Smite looking around the left side to ward and just clear of this gold theory, because they know it's coming up and they know they're gonna be in threat from Galactic Gangsters.
Then we can see. Oh, we can see.
Ganesh ult coming down. A great ult from Big Pete, and that is just a mega pick from Ewit's Asian. Really great Ganesh ultimate to force that Scylla out. Just a heads up play. Oh, as Loki is coming in from behind on Chang'e, and he's gonna pick up the kill. Wow, great play from the Loki, and Hunbats drops his ult down at his feet to ward off any pressure. A good pick in return from the Loki.
Yeah, well, we saw Loki take the speed buff invade like he'd been doing since the last 10 minutes. He has the cooldown on it. He's on point with it. And it seems like Galactic Gangsters they go free right now. And it seems like it's going to be free. Nobody except the Unbust is heading that way. Ooh. It should be free. Just use his ult in the last fight. And we see Nike is holding out too. It's going to be a free go free for Galactic Gangster. But and Loki, on timer. But see, Ahh Stop Smite's going to respond back with maybe a power nets, or no, maybe they're just going to say. No, we don't have the ADC, we don't have any damage.
They can't do it. It's like they've just warmed it up for Galactic Gangsters, because they're going to come around and now pick it up at half HP. Nike's here, and Hunbats is just silently farming beside it. He might look around to potentially steal it. He's going to jump into ward and now for the smash, and he is going to steal it. With a smash up down from Hunbats, he's going to steal the Pyro. And we'll just pretend like they just split the map. Ahh Stop Smite. Hanbats had a look at that Pyro, but instead decided to rotate over to Gold Fury. Instead of picking up the Pyro for free with his Mulan and Ganesh, they had to drop it because Nike came over. Instead of the three of them doing it and splitting the map correctly, but they do end up getting it with the steal.
Yeah, lucky for Ahh Stop Smite to have that on Bass that was farming the mid right RP. So, and just recognize it like this. And Banjo again, he's unstoppable right now. 7-kill streak from the Loki, and we can look at his build. He doesn't build the full damage Loki build. He went for the more bruiser build. I just think everybody should just go that build, and it's the right way to go for it. And like Loki is super annoying, and he's super bruiser. He has defense item. Meanwhile, he has a lot of damage too with those items, so it's gonna be hard to kill with that 6th level lead on the Unbats.
Yeah, you mentioned the 6th level lead. We're gonna see a bit of it here, and he is just blown up. Ganeshal drops down onto the Scylla. She has to use her Aegis, and King, his Mex, is gonna pick up a kill onto that Scylla. That's a big one. That Scylla had been doing a lot of damage, but Loki is just shredding here as Ganesh might fall next. Kumbi's ult is gonna do some damage, and Loki is now going to shred through Ganesh. Back up to half HP. Some Chang'e kills are gonna do good as Nike's gonna jump into the back, looking to shield them back. It's a great shield from Nike, catching that Mulan, but Loki is just looking to continue diving into the tower. Shell gets popped out. Great pull from Mulan into the tower as Loki's low, and they're not gonna be able to get any more picks in towards this T2. They're just gonna look at stealing instead, as Onher lurks down onto this T2 tower and left.
Yeah, what we just saw is Ahh Stop Smite is so behind. Right now it's a 10 gold lead difference. So a big difference in items, and I think that's what we just saw. Like, Ahh Stop Smite didn't fight that thing really bad. And it seems like they're going to try to fight the Honor.
Yeah, the blink comes in there from Mulan. It's a great initiation, and Muffin falls. Nike now using her entrance in towards this Olo, and he'll pop the ult, pop the Aegis. It's not gonna matter. Nike picks up a kill onto Dan Smite as he has fallen for 6th time in this game, as Nike is gonna be able to pick up a kill in return. But you have to say here, Mark, that Ahh Stop Smite have done a good job of finding players out of their own realm and just aggressing on them.
Well, yeah, I think what we saw from Ahh Stop Smite is they just pick up kills when Galactic Gansters too aggressive, or like they're just deep in the lane and just make a good rotation. And I just think they need to keep going like this.
Oh, Beads coming out from the Scylla. She's gonna head away there as Mulan is really aggressive onto the Scylla.
It's a kind of show. I want to see it again, please. This man's with his ult, so please go back on it. Scylla went out freely, burned her beats a little bit, but it's still a win for me. Ahh Stop Smite still does not beat, so Ganesha should be looking for her with the silence and the grab follow-up. So that should be the next target right now. In the next minute and a half, pretty much, it's like 120 seconds cooldown. So should be looking for that right now. It should be looking for the Scylla. Ganesha should keep in his mind. Her beats are down. That's my target right now, and I want them to just group on that Scylla, pick her up, because she's getting huge too. 2-level lead on the Chang'e. She got her build. So she's gonna do insane damage right now to anybody that's super squishy. Like the young bad's just gonna fall down to one Scylla. So that's what they need to do. Like you said, they pick up some small kills, but just keep little small wins that you can get and group up. Maybe just try to defend with your ult, and that's what they need to do in the next minute.
And as you mentioned before, it's the small wins that matter right now for Ahh Stop Smite, as they're just trying to lengthen this game until they can get their full builds online, their full level 20 for everybody, the XP up, and the late game where their team is really going to shine, where Olaran is doing the damage and you know, everything is working out well for them. So hopefully they can make it there as Scylla hits a multi-man root, and the Crush is going to do some damage to the tanks of Ahh Stop Smite. And we've seen this Loki humming behind. He is just continuing to wreak havoc onto the T2 tower as Asian falls to the Arc Effect, and the Ganeshal drops, and Arc Effect picks up a double kill now. Oh, pick now as Scylla, you've mentioned, falls, but Honor is cleaning up this left Phoenix. He was just left alone. The rotation from Olaran, he dies, and Honor picks up the left Phoenix now as Hanbat's ult comes out. Mulan is 1 HP, and Kumbi ult misses. The evasion from Mulan is not good enough to save the life, however, as Nike's going to jump up, pick up her 6th kill of the game, as Honor is wrecking havoc down left side, picking up that Phoenix, now coming into mid, and they're going to pick up this T2 as Hunbat can only watch and back to his own base.
Surprised we didn't see the honor like in any team fight from Galactic Gangster, but honestly, with just the lead that they got, it just seems that they doesn't need the honor. But now if honor did his job, he take the left Phoenix, so it should be in the next every team fight that's gonna happen. So that's gonna be the danger now. Honor is super ahead, 4-level lead on the all run. Honor's gonna be full build after probably back. He take the Phoenix, so he should have a lot of gold in his hand. So it's gonna make such a big
He's looking in
difference.
for the fire giant. He's gonna up down and he's gonna steal the fire. He steals the fire giant from Galactic Gangsters. A great dive from Zhang Pakuto on the Hunbats. He has just been a nuisance in terms of stealing objectives away from Galactic Gangsters so far.
Yeah, well, I think the small win, that's a small win for Ahh Stop Smite. He's been stealing objective. I think it's just a little bit due from a lack of zoning, or maybe just a lack of like locking him down, because we just saw him jumping and like nobody was on him and just be able to free casting. So maybe just from Galactic Gangster, just remind them like we need to zone better, because having that fire giant right now might like means they should be able to end the game, but right now they don't. So it's gonna take at least another 5 minutes before this game's gonna end, because they don't have the fire giant. And I think that's when Ahh Stop Smite they can defend really well too. They got the fire giant buff on them, so they should be looking to just defend and maybe try and look for a fight as a 5 minute tick. Maybe they're gonna be able to turn around things with that fire giant.
Yeah, and that's the risk you take when your Scylla mid lane mage is not there to secure the fire giant. As we see Chang'e blink forward with her ult, she's not gonna be able to find that Loki, as that Chang'e ult is now down. And speaking of ults down, Oloron's ult is down, so is Honor's ult. The Aegis comes out, he's looking to pick up this Honor as he jumps inside of the Oloron ult, slowly to his death, and Big Pete's ult is gonna drop, but Honor is 1 HP and he'll be able to survive, as all 4 members of Galactic Gangsters are here to peel away for him. Unbath looking for the kill, but Kumi's gonna ult in terms of peel. Honor is still here, but he's regen off of camps. Not much damage coming out from the Hunbat's ult, and Honor is still able to survive, but the jump will pick him up, and the blink from Nike comes to looking, now picking up the Hunbats. In the backline, Isilla's ulting around backwards, maybe looking for some damage in return. She's gonna miss the ult, and Ahh Stop Smite have done a good job of doing evading here and staying alive. And speaking of evading, Hunbat's blinks, but he's just standing still. And he's gonna call the Loki. I'm not sure if a controller disconnected or he just knew he was dead, but he's just gone and deleted off of the map. Oh, unfortunate there.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for the Unbat, because I think he was out if he still keep running, but it seems like maybe he was on console and just battery went out. So just unfortunate play from the Unbat, because he did such a great job diving the honor and able to just pick up a kill on him, and just the blink was really good. Like it was insane. Like he blink out, just unfortunate play from him. So he was really on point from the kill steals to that diving backline, but just a little small mistake or like bad timing on this controller.
Huge Oni wave in right lane. They've got to deal with these waves now as the left Phoenix is coming up, and they are actually going to be able to deal with the waves, as instead of turning their attention on a potential Phoenix pick, they are just going to head back and steal some farm.
Yeah, that's so sad.
The Phoenix is up now.
Yeah, that's so sad that the honor died, because with that right minion pushing, with that much minions too, that should have been a free Phoenix, and that's what the Unbat did such a great job, like diving the backline. The Scylla was out of the fight too. We saw her like off HP and use her ult, and the Loki's looking to ult aggressively in mid, but the Unbat's ult with the ult.
The double ult comes in. This Loki pick would be huge. That is a big pick for Hunbats, picking up the Banjo, his first death of the game. He was 10-0-4, and now he is no more. He is now dead to Hunbats, picking up a lot of bounty on that Loki's head.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I don't want to see anything else than Ahh Stop Smite that's just going to start winning and turn things around, because they didn't play bad. Honestly, they didn't play bad. Just Galactic Gangsters snowball super hard with that early team comp. Great play from the Unbat, stealing kill, stealing objectives, and just being on point with those backline dives. So I want to see Ahh Stop Smite pull out the turnaround and just use their late game team comp that they have and just win them a game. So it's not over for us. Stop Smite. It seems like they keep their head up, like I was saying, like maybe 15 minutes ago. But it seems like they're still in that game, and it's not. This game is not over.
It's definitely not over, and you'd have to think that that Fire Giant steal played a huge factor in preserving this game for Ahh Stop Smite, because they had the fire on 4 members in that fight, and 2 of them survived, and it really helped preserve them. If they hadn't stolen that Fire Giant, we could definitely be looking at a different result at this point.
Well, that like this play, if Ahh Stop Smite win this game, talk about that Fire Giant steal. Just seems like everything turned around from that point. Like it's only been 2 minutes, 5 minutes maybe that things happen, but just seeing Ahh Stop Smite giving like a breath of hope and they're just gonna take advantage. But now we're gonna see what's gonna happen right now. It seems like everybody's gonna group up on the Fire Giant. Next winning time.
Hunbats is super far in here, and he's gonna have to use his beats to get away, as well as his ult, and Loki is just diving super far here to pick up this Hunbats if he can. Nike ult comes out on her ult, and Ganesh ult on the feet. Chang'e ult will stun 3 people, and Chang'e will pick up a kill on the Loki. Huge crush from Dino. He picks up 2 kills. Chang'e falls alongside Oloran, and the damage is now dead from Ahh Stop Smite. Hunbats is super low, but he is gonna use a great blink to evade Scylla's crush. Now 1 HP, still left. His jump will get him potentially out. Kamazotz is taken, will pick up Mulan in the backline, and Big Pete falls. Hunbats is the only player left, and his icon is almost dead. He is literally grayed out. 4 players remaining on Galactic Gangsters with only Hunbats left. His ult has still got to waste the trigger, and they're looking to just do some damage now onto this Phoenix. Instead of picking up the Fire Giant, they're going to go right for the throat. Picks up that Phoenix now as Hunbats is the only player allowed to survive. His ult is coming up real soon, but he is not allowed to use it yet. They are now defending. His ult is up. He's gonna ult right at the feet. Scylla is low. She's gonna ult to try to get out. He jumps far away from the Titan as Scylla's 1 HP. She's gonna be able to get that ult up on the Titan. That's a lot of chunk. Now the Hunbats is on her. Dan Smite picks up a big kill on the Scylla as this siege is stopped right to a halt. Oloran is gonna pick up his Kumi. If he can pick up his passive in time, he does, and he's got 2 kills now. That is a big defense from Ahh Stop Smite and Zhang Petkuto on that Hunbats.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't went for and Hunbats just gonna pick up the Arctic.
Another one.
So that's some huge kills for Ahh Stop Smite because Nike was on a kill streak. Kumba was it's probably worth some gold, but the Stellar kill is super huge because she's worth some much gold. But everybody's gonna be level 20 right now, and even Ganesh is ahead of the Kumba. So at this point, everybody is at the same level. Everybody finish your build. I'm not gonna start that Fire Giant.
They are starting fire. Loki is lurking in the shadows here. You mentioned it, the fire startup, it comes, it's down to 50% HP as Loki is stealthily looking around. Hunbats is going to use his jump. He's at 50% HP, and he's going to ult right into that Loki. It's a great ult to get him out of the way. Loki is looking towards the fire still. Now he's going to ult in towards the backline, and Ahh Stop Smite does pick it up. He is killed by Zenkaputo. Oh, he will fall to the Fire Giant, unfortunately. But that is 4 members now who have the FG, and minions are in the Titan room. Do they realize? I mean, they obviously realize now the Titans are bearing down on this Titan. It's not going to be enough to end the game, but it's going to do some damage.
They're playing on Chang'e.
That Titan is real low as Galactic Gangsters looking to pick up some sort of consolation in the Primal. But that's an EFG for Ahh Stop Smite and a big team win fight.
Yeah, that's huge from Ahh Stop Smite, and that's the late game team count that we're seeing from them. Like, everybody from Ahh Stop Smite is almost full build, and the Chang'e is going to build a tier 2, maybe a gem at installation or the staff. So I'm going to be excited to see what she's going to build. But the gem of installation is going to be a great pick too, because you're going to slay everybody, and you have like, she doesn't have a lot of cooldown, only 20% cooldown, but still 20% cooldown on Chang'e. It's still like, it's still quick. Like, you're going to have your build to do it quick. But so honestly, at this point, everybody's even. It's just gonna be who's gonna fight well for in the next team fight. But I think Ahh Stop Smite have all the potential in the world to win any team fight that's gonna come to them right now.
Yeah, and I mean, they do have the FG now, right? And it's level 30, so these people are nearing their final builds and high potential as they are engaged upon. Now a great knock up and ult from Ganesh as Scylla falls to Mulan, and now the advantage maybe with Ahh Stop Smite is they've picked up Scylla. They have to retreat now. And these minions are rushing out on the right side, but Scylla has fallen. And Ahh Stop Smite are slowly inching their way back into this game as Hunbats has not given up his pursuit yet. He has got his ult and he's looking to potentially aggress with 2 of his team members, but the Fire Minions are still pushing down to this Titan. They really just can't push up that right wave far enough, as it is just taking more damage from these minions, and Mulan is the only one back to defend, as the Titan is just taking tons of damage here. They're going to use this time to push up the left, however, as Mulan is alone to defend. Loki is lurking, though, and we've seen the damage that Loki could do on a team. Loki now looking towards Hunbats. He's going to be able to get out with a little bit of damage done. This is a bit of a stopping ground now as the blink comes up from Hunbats. He's going to find a huge ult. Ganesh ult comes out. Olurin comes out and on her is the target. A great impale onto the Hunbats. Is going to be able to pick him up. Nike picks up the kill. Olurin is now low. Loki in the back onto the Chang'e is going to do some damage as Kumbi is going to ult to peel away as Olurin now falling super low. He's going to get aggressed on. Muffin Man picks up a kill. Banjo picks up a kill. Scylla's here, and that might be game for Galactic Gangsters.
That should be game from Galactic Gangsters. It seems like they're just gonna run mid lane, but I want them to run right lane right now. Muran's not gonna be able to stop them, but I think if they just went for the tower and not went for the kills, I'm pretty sure also Smite would have a free tier 2 tower, and also Bombas cannot engage in my opinion. It should be the Ganesh that just step in a little bit before, just take so he can take the damage from the tower. So just a little bit misplay from them. Like that was such a great engage, but just like Combat should not be the one that's engaging. Gangster just gonna bring a run out the Titan. Nobody's gonna be able to defend it, but the Umpat's gonna be ult in 5 seconds, but the Titan's pretty low.
They're just gonna run up and burst this as an Honor is now in the Titan room. Mulan is gonna do everything she can, but it's not enough. And Galactic Gangsters are gonna pick up their maiden game in the STL over Ahh Stop Smite in this entertaining 33-minute game.
That was super exciting, and I'd be surprised with my MVP pick, but the Ganesh dude was. I have to give it to him. I know they lost, but the Ganesh was on point all game long. Like this guy changed team fight as since the start of the game to the late game, since the last minute of every team fight. But Galactic Gangster just seemed like a team, but just a little bit mistake from they can fix after game 1 with their coach. They're just gonna be able to tell them, guys, just group up. Don't take fights. Take objective before taking any fights. But honestly, game 2 is gonna be super exciting.
It is going to be exciting. I mean, we've seen these teams at their high potential, and man, if you were to look at a graph of that game, it just kept going up and up for Ahh Stop Smite until it came crashing down at the very end there. But there were so many ways that could have gone in the end. Maybe it started with sending back the Milan to defend the waves instead of a more mobile and better clearing god like Hunbats, but they didn't have the Milan there at that siege, and you know they just fought too hard and fell too far.
Yeah, that was just a little bit sad from Ahh Stop Smite. They had the momentum at the end of the game. Like they got a Fire Giant, they got the steal from the Unbound, so they had 2 Fire Giant in a row. They had some great siege defense, so great things that these guys can take out of that game. So have their head down right now. Like everything should be super positive. They did some great things. We stopped them earlier on the snowball because these guys were so huge and put so much pressure on every lane. Maybe just fix that. Like yeah, you play a late game team comp, but doesn't mean that you cannot grab some kills, make some rotation, fight the objective. Like we were saying in the draft, like they have a lot of potential with their ults. So just use them at your advantage on objective, on team fights. And I think they just should need to focus on playing better as a 5-man because they've been playing way more longer together than Galactic Gangster, and we saw it in team fights that have a lot of potential to win this game.
They definitely have the potential, and I mean, looking at those damage numbers, it was just huge in favor of Galactic Gangsters, nearly doubled in every role, obviously except support, but it was just the terms of impact, especially from the Scylla and on her and Loki damage-wise, were just huge. There's just so much damage there, and it was just devastating from that early snowball, as you mentioned. There was even a near 15k lead at one point in the game for Galactic Gangsters, so it was just so much for them to handle, and they almost handled it pretty well, almost coming back to win that game.
Yeah, like I said, they have a lot of great things to take out of that game. Like there was not a lot going bad except the early snowball that just let them roll and let them roll until like 20-25 minutes. And like I said, the turnaround thing that's still. And for Galactic Gangster, you just need to work better on your objective secure because everything else was on point. I still think Ahh Stop Smite, like, they just did a great job. Like, they used the advantage of the late game team comp. Just made a little small mistake at to left tower, and like you said, the Mulan went to wave flare. So that means you don't have a lot of front line to engage like they just did. And they were just a little bit too aggressive, and then they didn't focus the tower. They focused the team fight. And I think that was just a little mistake that they just did in the team fighting. It just cost them the game at this point.
All right, so that was it for the game one of this SDL matchup and Galactic Gangsters debut game. They had picked up the first game here, and we are going to be back very shortly after a little intermission for game two of the set. All right, welcome back, everybody. I am Script Pull Up once again here with Mark X Wings, and we are back for game two of this SDL set between Galactic Guardians and Ahh Stop Smite, Mark. And we saw a pretty interesting game one here.
Yes, so much good thing happening, dude. We saw the Ahh Stop Smite stealing objective, almost turned things around after 25 minutes when they were down all game long. So honestly, this game two cannot have like a better excitement than what we have right now because man, Ahh Stop Smite gave them a good fight, so they can just win game two. And we're gonna go on to game three. Who knows?
And it looks like we're seeing a potential target ban here with that Nike. Ahh Stop Smite not looking to deal with the arc effect on that Nike. Definitely an effect that he brought with that Nike play. It was definitely devastating in that solo lane.
Well, I think you call it like a target ban. I call it a respect ban. Like honestly, Nike did such a great job, but I'm surprised that there's not a Ganesha ban. But I think the Ganesha did such a great job, messed up some team fight. But it seems like they're just gonna run back the same bans. It seems like they won game one, so I'm just gonna run the same thing. A big Peter on the Ganesha again. So pretty excited to see him running the Ganesha again.
Seems Big P loves that Ganesha, and he is locking it in first pick for the boys of Ahh Stop Smite. And same thing says Dino. He says run it back, let's do it. He's gonna pick that Scylla up in the middle lane once more. So that's definitely a pick. And are we watching the same VOD again?
Because, yeah, is there something wrong? Like
it's the exact same draft.
Well, they just told him, you guys want to run the same things, we're going to do the same things. And we want game one, so but the Apollo thing, like that's something that was missing game one, the Apollo. But seems like they're going to lock him. It's not locked yet, but I want the Apollo. I want him on Apollo. And the Mulan run back, that's something I'm surprised though. I didn't see the Mulan did such a great thing. She had some great ults. She was messing the black line a little bit. But she's the Medusa. Surprised that man didn't run the honor back again. So they said, okay, well, you go Apollo. Maybe I don't want the honor. I don't want to jump on you and you just mess me and you're going to just have the advantage after that. So maybe he has something with the Medusa, something he saw. It's like, yeah, I've been dealing with some Apollo and casual, so I'm going to run the Medusa. I've been dealing well the Apollo with her. So honestly, great picks and ban. Just with the picks and ban, I'm pretty excited. Like, a lot of like the Medusa, and I think she can do some great things against Apollo. Apollo also on the same side can do some great stuff if he's super aggressive and play with his ult too to escape or to engage. So, and we see the Scylla Kumba back again. So great things coming out for that draft.
Yeah, I mean the duo lanes are nearly the exact same, minus the Apollo is switched out for the Oleron. Maybe the Oleron was a potential comfort pick, or it was something he wanted to try out. He's going to go back to the traditional hunter here, though. And Apollo, as we talked about earlier in the first cast, we've seen him in the Worlds, and he can just devastate rotationally wise, just impacting the map anywhere he wants to impact in like a number of seconds.
Well, the thing about Apollo too is just super annoying. Like you want to take a goal free, and yet Apollo just like flying on top of you and just like he's messing with you. Like, am I gonna land? Am I not gonna land right now? Like you never know where he's gonna came from. And you have such a good presence, like I was saying, with his ult and just flying on top of you, and it scared people off too. Like you want to go free. Do you really want to go free if Apollo's ulting on top of you? Do you expect some people like coming because Apollo seeing that go free? Do you think the team's gonna follow up? So a lot of great thing coming from the Apollo ult, and just like you said, general presence and every lane potential, like just that presence that can make rotation with his ult. So, and we see the soul back. Seems like it might go in the soul lane, and the overall run back.
Wow, the is the run back. Yeah, so that means that Apollo is going to go into the jungle, and Zhong Kui is the lock in here in the mid lane for you. It's Asian. The Olaran is ran back. This must be a comfort pick then for Dan's Smite, and we, unbeknownst to what we could mention, as Loki's locked in once more for Banjo. Sobek is going to be played in the soul lane. We've seen that aggressive playstyle on the Nike. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles this lane into the same Mulan with the Sobek now, which is definitely a god that can really displace you in a team fight.
Honestly, dude, this team comp is getting me excited for game 2. Sobek, like you were mentioning, a little bit aggressive, more like contemplate potential with like plugging out to a tower, and like he does a lot of damage with his ult, even if they nerfed it a little bit earlier, but still does a lot of damage. He has some great sustain, great pro, great wave clear, so everything you want from your solo lane. And that Sobek Kumba is going to be super annoying for the backline. They have an art diving team with the Scylla is going to be able to free casting. And we see the Loki run backs too. That's going to be again Bruiser, Proud. 3 guys that can just dive you in the backline, have a lot of CC, a lot of damage. So Ahh Stop Smite is going to need to be careful and like grouping a lot better than they did in game 1, and have that Ganesha just peeling super hard, because in the other way, they're just going to dive you super hard and you're going to have trouble to stop them.
Yeah, and we did see the impact of Big Pete on that Ganesh earlier in game 1, so you know he can and you know he will be a big disruption of that backline dive. And Banjo was a nuisance before, so we'll see what Ahh Stop Smite will do to, try to counteract that nuisance, because he was really just tearing through Ahh Stop Smite earlier in game 1.
Okay, well, someone was listening to me, because the Bancroft. It seems like he's gonna rush the Bancroft or the Typhoon. Either way, I think Bancroft is probably way more worth it to rush it than just rush the. And we see the Zhong Kui, and that's something that we saw coming out from one of the set that we had last week from. I can't remember the team, but I know it was one of the RCL team that just bring out the Zhong Kui mid, and he was just crushing it. And the Zhong Kui just run the game. So at the same time, like I was saying, Galactic Gansters has a hard diving team. Zhong Kui at the same time, he's just gonna call it. Like, you guys want to dive me? I'm gonna pop my ult. I'm gonna lifesteal. I'm gonna do a lot of damage. And you guys gonna have all the time to deal with me. And Apollo Jungle too on the other side, he's gonna be able to be everywhere. Like we saw maybe a little bit lack of rotation, letting the honor get super huge. So maybe the Apollo is gonna be he's gonna do a better job for that than the Unbats last game. But so a lot of great things coming from those two team comps. So I just want the game started and go like I want Ahh Stop Smite to win, but both teams have they both have the chance to win too.
Yeah, and the relics here are looking very similar for both teams, but Mulan has picked up that TP. That's the only difference between the blink that Architect has on the Sobek. Very more of a passive relic in that soul lane now. We don't see it as much.
Yeah, we don't see the blink coming out from the Zhong Kui too, and it seems like maybe Galactic Gansters is gonna try to contest that blow off again. But it went on the side from Ahh Stop Smite with I was almost still by the middle, so we saw a basic coming out from, but not enough to steal it. So yeah, I'm not still a fan of the teleport. I just think it's a waste of relics late game. Except if you want to teleport to do a backdoor or something, just get in a fight. That means they're gonna need to ward late game too, and that's something that we didn't saw coming from Ahh Stop Smite a lot. Just the warding aspect from them. So, and we see like Sobek's almost bullying that pretty even. So I'm surprised that Muran doesn't put more pressure in that. But
Yeah, it's a lot of damage from that Sobek that he can do, and he's got a lot of sustain. He hasn't used many of his pots. He's looking for a pluck. He's gonna miss it here, but the sustain is there from the Sobek in that solo lane, and he's got tons of pots to help him stay alive.
it's almost like they're both the same gods. If you look like Mulan 3 with the Sobek Flux, it's almost the same ability. 3 from Sobek, and we see the Sobek with some great flux and damage, but like I was saying, Mulan has some sustain, Sobek has some sustain, and they both have both, so it's really like a very even fight here.
Big mez there, and the stop from Kumbi. He's gonna get some damage onto the Ganesh, dashing away now at 1 HP. The spit comes out, and it's a great spit from Muffin Man, able to pick up first blood onto Big P.
That was such a great play, the spit, like you mentioned it. Like he said, well, you want a body block for your support? Well, I'm just gonna spit on top of it and just I'm gonna be able to kill him still. And we saw the Ganesh still has shelled up, so maybe he didn't expect that coming. I'm pretty sure he didn't, but that was such a great play from Muffin Man on that Medusa. Alright, so we see everything is pretty even. We saw the kills going from Medusa, still getting their first burn. Almost still went for the kill, but the Apollo dash not enough to kill out of the cell with her dash counter. So not a lot going on in mid lane and dual lane, and that's something I'm surprised with. A lot of pressure that both team has. We don't see the Loki making rotation. We don't see the Apollo making any rotation. It just seemed like Apollo is looking to farm, is looking to make it to late game. So I think a lot coming from the fight too. So he might be able to make rotation when he's going to be able to back and get the warrior tabby, depending on where he's going to go for. But nothing happening right now. So just clear farming from both sides of the team. It seems like Ahh Stop Smite want to play the late game, the all run, Mega. So again, like I want to see them to be more aggressive. Don't let them just snowball. Don't let the Medusa get huge. She got it first, but I get at this moment. So yeah, not like I'm surprised that Ahh Stop Smite play that way. Like they have a great presence early game. Maybe the Jean-Qui is not the best to make rotation, but still they have the potential to do it. So again, I'm surprised. So.
Oh, aggressive dash in on the dual lane there, on the dual lane side, and some damage coming to Jean-Qui, and talked about the aggressive dash. That's a second kill for Muffin Man onto Dan Smite, as this ADC lead is going to be stretched even bigger with that aggressive dash and kill.
Yeah, I just think I'm surprised. Medusa, yeah, she has some great damage, some great poke, and all around takes some time to get online, but Medusa it just seems Muffin might be a little bit better than Dan Smite, but honestly, Apollo, you need to be stopping that Medusa right now. You want your Laurent to, you want him to be able to clear safely and maybe deal maybe solo the Medusa, but everybody know that all around doesn't. It takes time, so you need to help him. Like it's gonna take time before he get online, so you need to do something here to help his all around.
Well, he's in a spot of trouble in mid lane, as Kumbi is now gonna ult that Jean-Qui, and so ult is gonna come down in damage. Banjo will pick up that kill onto Jean-Qui. Ganesh is 1 HP, looking for the basic attack, hits the crush, and Apollo will pick up Loki. He's gonna pick up Kumbi now, as he's just able to return 2 quick kills onto this Apollo. It's what you like to see in return of your team getting beaten in a mid lane fight. But he's able to turn around and stop that, bad wipe turning into something way worse, as Sobek's gonna ult and pluck back now towards his own minions, able to do some damage, but he's not got too many more abilities left to do anything. He uses his 2 now, and he's 1 HP looking for the minions, and the lifesteal is gonna be able to save now. Sobek, oh, the 3 is so close to pulling Sobek as Apollo ult, looking to pick up the Scylla. Great mez from Kumbi. The shell comes out, the beat from Apollo, and he's going all in for the Scylla. Mez comes in, and he's gonna cost his life. Man, that was a little bit too far from that Apollo.
My man, this Scylla is so bad. It's like, you're not gonna get away. I waste my beats for that, so I'm gonna pay the price. If I use my beats, I'm gonna grab that kill, but that's what Apollo does. Like, we saw him ulting the Scylla, do a lot of damage, and that's only a level 8 Apollo, so Galactic Gangsters gonna need to be careful, because at this moment, the Umbas with 2 level beyond, it's Apollo that's even with your Loki, so but you just need to make presence in the dual line, like I was saying earlier, man. Honestly, just going up that all around, it's not that he's gonna be in trouble late game, but you just need to be able to wave clear and just don't let that Medusa get used like they did with the Honor. They let the Honor farming and take the Phoenixes at 20 minutes, but they need to stop that just snowball that Muffin Man does to that all around 2 times in a row right now.
Yeah, certainly, and it's every ADC's dream to see you have a fully ready dev gauntlets to stack at 5 minutes, and that's what Muffin Man has been doing. He's been stacking it up. He's hit 4 waves already. He's got 27 stacks now, and that is just a lot of power to start off with in that duo lane, heading those 2 kills up and able to stack those dev gauntlets super fast. And
also, we can look the all only have Bancroft right now, maybe a Typhoon, and look, that's what Galactic Gangster does. They just and we see the Medusa dash
right onto that Apollo. Ganesh ult now dropped onto the feet as Medusa's hit by it. The Ganesh dash is gonna just miss. Now he's heading a little bit too far for this Medusa. So is the Apollo, and they're both looking to get wiped here. Banjo picks up 2 quick kills, and he is just in the same spot he was before. Now, level 10 in 8 minutes, he's got a great start, and he's looking for the Zhonghui for a potential 3-piece. He is just chunking this Zhonghui who can use his ult, but he is also he's now circled by 4 members of Gangsters, and he is fallen now to Banjo for a 5th kill for Loki, as this gold is going to happen again before the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, Zhonghui with his batting, looking like someone that has someone on his mind. He keep his eyes straight up to that target, didn't see that everybody was just around him. And great combo. Zhonghui just you gotta go up in the air for at least a second or 2, so you're not gonna be able to do any damage with your ult. So great combo. You were talking about the miss. Yeah, I in the last team fight, but Apollo missed, dude. The ult that killed the Medusa.
Yeah,
that was huge. Like, the Medusa just turned around. Now she's level 11, facing that level 9 all around again. And anymore, there's no even jungler. Loki's level 11, and Apollo just hit level 10. So Loki's gonna be dangerous again. Like, he didn't rush the Glad Shield right now. He's gonna go for a huge power spike with the full warrior tabby. So Ahh Stop Smite's gonna need to be careful. Loki's gonna get huge, so you need to be careful on that, because you gotta be stick for the Zhonghui and all the Mulan, the order run. It's a little bit dangerous when you go up that much sustain. It's super easy to counter because you just build 1 item. Now we see 2 Divine Rune, 1v6, so already 3 items that has some insight into it. So you're not gonna heal a lot right now from Ahh Stop Smite. That's the danger of going that much lifesteal, get that much sustain. Everybody's just gonna counter it. So that you just
yeah, and I mean, we're seeing that lead come out now. It's about 4K for Galactic Gangsters, as they've just asserted themselves into the beginning part of this game like they did last time. And they're going to look to snowball this game and not let any breathing room for Ahh Stop Smite as they had in the last one. They just want to get this game over and just, you know, finish them off concisely instead of letting them back in with any sort of objective steals or problems that they had in last one.
Yeah, honestly, it just seems like it's going the same way it went game one. Galactic Gangster take advantage of the early team calm, force some fights, force the, and it just everything goes their way. But we see Kumba ult on that Jonqui, but I'm not sure why. It doesn't seem anyone was in danger. Maybe we missed something.
And Kumbi is going to extend here towards the Apollo as the double mez comes out, one from each team, and players will just get back to their own sides now as everyone is unscathed. But that Kumbi ult is down, as you mentioned. Could have been a miscommunication, could have just been over-aggression, but Medusa has just smelling blood, and Dan Smite falls for a second time in the game. Now Medusa has that OD bow online for that fight, and that would have just been a huge power spike, as I believe she had picked up the full warrior tabi, and then a full item of OD bow, and that's just a lot of pressure to put on your opponent, especially with how good OD bow is right now.
Yeah, I'm such a fan of Odibo right now. If you look high feed and you look as my ADC, he's gonna have Odibo all the time. This high. The thing about Odibo is make you save your ability to wave clear. And we see the Banjo that's taking a kill, making that rotation in full lane. And we see the 2-1-2 gonna fall in left lane. But yeah, Odibo is such a great item because you're able to just keep your ability up. You don't have to use them to wave clear. So you're able to put pressure with keeping your ability. So that means a lot for like it's just so free. You can be able to do so much damage with your ability. Yeah.
Speaking of tons of damage, it's happening to Jonqui right now as Scylla's gonna miss that ultimate off of the stun. And still alive is that Jonqui, although all the damage had been done. Scylla's so close to that finishing blows. Apollo's gonna ult onto the left side now, where Muffin Man is pushed up a little bit far. Oloran is now heading over, but Loki is as well. Oloran looking to do some damage, and it's a big pick for Dan Smite as Apollo is literally sitting at 1 HP, but he's gonna rotate around the wrong side of the wall. And Loki is gonna be able to pick him up.
Dude, Archer or OP, dude, my man. The last Archer just turned around, shot two armor on him, and just take the kills on the Apollo. And after we see a great rotation by the Loki and Kumba, just lock on the all-around. That's why I'm surprised too. We see the all-around pick against a Kumba, and still like they have too much CC that the all-around can make it work. That's the thing about all-around. If you play against a lot of CC, you're just gonna get locked down. If you don't have your ult up, you're just almost instantly dead. That's the little bit issue of playing all around. Is you're just super squishy. You're a little bit like such in danger when you see Kumba just gonna run at you, mess you, and put you down with his two. So, and he has a slowness one too. So everything on his kit just counter the all around. So a lot of danger for the all around.
Yeah, and I mean, he picked that Oloran going into the Kumbi knowing what he was playing up against. So you can't say he didn't have his warning both games, but he did pick it up. But picking up that kill against the Medusa was big. That's the biggest player in the game by a long shot. And she had fallen and given a big bounty to Oloran, who's now able to get a bit more gold, a bit more, you know, potential back into his damage. And Sobek is just going to dive in, and this is just too far up for King is Me. He is killed by the Artifact, his first kill of the game, and Milan falls to her second death as that T1 tower on right is looking in very grave danger of falling as Galactic Gansters. As the plug is missed onto the Apollo, but the Apollo is beaming these shots out of the Sobek, trying to do some damage towards him, although Loki is sitting there, maybe even baiting backwards towards the Sobek, who is now standing, and the Ganesh ult is going to be enough to secure him inside of that square. Zhang Pakuto is able to do some damage to finish off that kill, and that is a decent kill there for the Apollo. He's going to pick up his 4th of the game, and the Sobek dies for the first time.
Dude, 4-level lead for the Medusa. Honestly, all around at this point. Oh, but we see the Apollo
coming down. He's looking for some aggro, and the beat, I believe it was a pre-beat from Apollo. It was a great pre-beat, but the ult trade is good enough for Dan Smite to pick up his 2nd kill of the game, and that little engagement was saved by a great pre-beats from Apollo.
Yeah, well, great play by the Apollo. And that's the thing about Apollo. You can put as much ward as you can, but you're not going to see him coming. We saw the Medusa put a sentry. That's the thing. He's gonna ult on top of every lane. He's gonna come in your lane and do insane damage. And like you mentioned it, a great pre-beats from the Apollo and followed up by the Run heal to save his life. So great team play by these two guys, the Run and the Apollo. That's what we needed to see, but just a little bit earlier. But at least Olorans has only a 2 level down right now. It's not a 4 level, so that's such a big difference for them. I give them a huge goal lead too.
Yeah, he must have a bundle of gold to spend. He's got only a few items online here, but he is now level 15, which is very good for someone who had died 3 times early on in the game. Yeah, he does have nearly 3,000 gold in hand, so he should probably get to finishing that item real soon.
I think he's in a better spot than last game because I'm not sure if he was like 1-4 last game or like something like that, but at least now he's only 2-3. But the thing is, he rushed a bankrupt, so at least he has the sustain, he has the damage to be able to survive, and now it seems like he's gonna rush it.
Oh.
Still gonna pick up a kill mid lane. Seems like it was a combo with the Kumba. The Kumba didn't use his ult, so that was probably just to lock him down and just still the damage is just too much. And we see Big P falling down to Banjo too right now. It seems like a counter blink to blink again to 2 blink use, and it seems like Galactic Gansters are just gonna run straight to the goal free. And I'm not sure if Oleron really wants to contest that right now with this Toby. Just gonna plunk him into that fight. And just gonna plunk him away. And he's gonna be free. Apollo used his ult to maybe just try to come on time, but wasn't enough. And the Oleron just run away with a little bit of HP, but he's not gonna let him fall down and just arc effect. He's gonna take that kill. And just gonna run under the water freely and just gonna go back to farming. And at the same time, Ahh Stop Smite just take a free Pyromancer as a counter prize. So a little small win for Ahh Stop Smite, but still, Oleron fall down and they're great block by Sobeck. Lock down the Jean-Queen mid lane with them. That's too much easy for Oleron and Jean-Queen to deal with. You don't have any escape. They play Sobeck, Kumba, Scylla, Medusa, Loki. Everybody has CC on that team, so it's pretty hard for them to just stay alive at this point. Everybody, both of them died 4 times, so that's the price you pay. If you want to play someone that doesn't have an escape against a Kumba, Sobek, well, that's just pretty much what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, he paid the price there. His life was cost 2 times really quickly, and his beads are unfortunately still up for both of those deaths. A lot of CC, as you mentioned, but just didn't use the beads once, and he got punished severely for it. A definite big lead now, though, for Scylla in that mid lane. And speaking of big leads, Muffin Man, level 19 here in 19 minutes. He's seeing lots of aggression now. And Dennis Smite picks up another kill on top of his other 2 that he'd already had. And that's going to be a big spike now for Dennis Smite. He did finally pick up that Ring of Hecate, and Apollo, sensing some sort of mid, he's going to head right over and just actually
the
right lane. Yeah, he is heading over for the Sobek here, and he's going to land right on top of him now, doing damage from the ult. His dash is going to come out, but he won't do any much more damage on top of that. Maybe hoping that his Mulan was going to be there a little bit closer, but he's just going to secure the blue and head over now as Oleron is able to pick up his first tower of the set. He's going to pick it up now and able to do tons of damage to these minions really quickly now, nearing almost level 19. For him, a great comeback now for this Oleron in the game, and we're going to see a lot of power from him soon, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm so happy for the Oleron right now. He had a rough, like, 50-minute game 1, but those 20 minutes on game 2 is way better for him. He is able to take a 2-on tower that we didn't see coming out until, like, 25-30 minutes in game 1. So, great thing coming from the Oleron, way better than game 1. So, a lot of progress in made. Maybe his coach is giving a speech, like, dude, you need to do that, and he just changes game style. And also, he probably, the coach probably tell the jungler, dude, you need to stop Muffin Man. Like, Muffin Man might be the trend on that team. Like, yeah, Benjo's been having those games too. He's 8-1 right now. He was probably like 10-1, 10-0 maybe game one, but honestly, take one thread at a time. Like, you have to do it that way at this point. You cannot deal with everybody. So they just take one thread at a time, deal with Muffin Man, and I think Overrun has the potential right now to just deal with the Medusa. See who's gonna win the trade.
We'll see how he's dealing with it now. He gets hit with the ult. His beads are up. He decides not to use them, but he does not care. He's gonna choke this Medusa.
So that's the thing about Bankrupt. It gives you such a power spike when you have a lack of HP, and last time he didn't have Bankrupt too. He went for the Typhoon after the ring of Ekate game one, and I think the amount of lifesteal that Orion has right now, I'm not sure if, even if I'm Medusa with 1 level league, you don't want that fight anymore. You were about to kill her earlier with the 10, like the first 10 minutes, but at this point, this man has too much lifesteal that you cannot do anything about it. He's gonna hit like 2 basic on you and you're gonna get like 25% HP. Yeah. That's how much lifesteal that Orion has right now. So for Medusa, she needs to make rotation in team fights, and that's how she's gonna have succeed here. Because all around, at this point, you cannot take that 1v1 fight anymore.
No, I mean he's just doing it now. He's doing a lot of damage as we see the Apollo get plugged backwards. He's gonna use his mez and he'll be able to get out here pretty much scot-free. But a good plug from the Sobek. The counter there, not too hard onto the Apollo though, as he'll just head back and lifesteal all that damage.
Yeah, we saw a fight for a mez. The Apollo got his mez a little bit earlier than Kuba, but Kuba was looking to mez too. So, but that's the thing. That's what we saw from Galactic Gangster. Once Sobek plug to Kumba mez can be like, you can be such in a danger after that. Like, those two together, like, you plug someone into a 5-second mess, like, that'll leave a lot of time to the rest of the team to just group up and just kill him. And we saw the Scylla too. Doesn't have the same impact as she did first game one. She didn't take the poly tune in her build anymore. She went for the Soul Gem. I'm still happy with that Soul Gem. Such a great item with the Spirit of Deflation. She's at 40% cooldown. She's going to be able to throw a lot of crush, and that's what they need to be careful, because these crush late games going to hurt so much. Everybody knows this power spike of Silver. They have the potential with that 40% cooldown to just win every team fight right now, in my opinion.
They definitely do, and they're going to pick up this Pyro real quick as the team fight is initiated really quickly. Scylla going right up front towards Zhang Kui. She'll pick up an ult, but she's now getting bursted down low, and Mulan will pick up the kill. Medusa all comes down to play as Shell is popped on top of the Medusa. Loki now heading towards the backline, but there's 2 players there, and Muffin will pick up Olara now. Ganesha falling prey to the dive from Sobek and Kumbi as that backline just turned into a front line for Galactic Gangsters. Sobek and Kumbi both rushing forward, and they're going to be able to get the better of this trade now. With a Pyro in their hand, and they are potentially going to head right for the big fire.
Yeah, Apollo, I want him to go in there. Just go steal it, dude. You did twice last game. You don't take that team on. You know, everybody know on the Twitch chat. Just know you're the best kill stealer in the game. So just come there, dude. You have
Mulan tries for a hand, but it is not up to par of the Zen Caputo standards that we saw last time. Or is he? He comes in with the blink. Oh, he was so close. He was so close to getting it, but he did not steal it. And there's a great pre-beads once more from Apollo, as he is really good at getting those beads properly placed, but his life might be in danger here as he is looking to sneak a back in on this Medusa, and that is not going to be good enough. He did recognize that they were coming around to kill him with his own wards that he had placed there, but not able to survive on that back. Good effort though.
That would have been one of the best play I ever saw, maybe, with the blink and use this one to try to steal that Fire Giant, but just wasn't lucky enough in that time to just steal it. But such a great try from him. Like, this guy know he has the potential to steal those objectives, still try it, so just see him try it again. But what happened here is how much, like, the Galactic Gangster just set up for that Fire Giant with a great bait, and just split up that team fight with their Loki ult, just ult the backline, split up them, and after everybody was just from Ahh Stop Smite. So honestly, the Galactic Gangster from new team, they play so well in team fight.
Yeah, they look very comfortable with each other, and communication-wise, it seems to be pretty good. As Zhang Kui is looking to do some damage onto the Scylla, she's going to beat and get out of there, but Kumbi is not so lucky. He's caught with some damage now, as Oloran is going to pop his ult Kubi's going to escape out the back, but he's going to have to use his ult to get in a better position. The team is rotating. Silla's doing tons of damage. That crush is lethal. It's worth a double kill, and Ganesh is now in trouble. This could be looming fate here for Ahh Stop Smite, as Ganesh is now the next target on towards this Loki. Loki looming in the Apollo ult is going to do a great job of peeling off the Loki and Sobek. Sobek diving in, but Ganesh getting out on 1 HP, 5 members. Still looming now for Galactic Gangsters, and let's not forget they have that Fire Giant. This could be really, really bad here for Ahh Stop Smite. 26 minutes into this game, they're going to pick up that left Phoenix, and now they've got to make the choice. Mid, end, where are we going? They're going for that T2 tower in mid lane as they head right over there. Sobek and Loki looking to just really be a nuisance in this front line for Galactic Gangsters.
Yeah, they made the right play. They didn't make the same mistake at game 1. They take like one of like there's no read. They made that mistake game 1. They wanted to end it earlier. It didn't work for them. So at least I'm happy to see them just not making the same mistake. It seems like Ganesh was trying to force something.
There's no one there, Ganesh. She's in a big spot of trouble here as Scylla is actually low HP herself, and Mulan is chasing her down now. This could be a good turn for Ahh Stop Smite, and Zenkapudo will finish off Scylla. Medusa ult now might turn this fight, and it does tons of damage to the Apollo. We're in a 3v2 situation here as Ahh Stop Smite has a bit of leverage. Medusa, though, is doing so much damage to Mulan. That's a double kill now as they're on the back foot, and Oleron is here to potentially try to swing this, but Ganesh is just caught out, not near his team, and that's gonna be 1 HP. That's gonna be a triple kill for Muffin Man as he's having tons of damage. Look at the player damage charts. That's 23k for this Medusa, and now looming down onto this mid Phoenix. It's a great pluck. Zhongkui's beads are too late. Sobek had a fantastic pluck, and it's a quadra kill for Muffin Man onto Medusa. Will he get the penta? So low is the Oleron.
Please.
Medusa is low as well.
They got a
And it's
penta
kill! Muffin Man, 45 unreal plays on the Medusa, and that is just great play for the Medusa to be able to secure that win.
Yeah, well, Muffin Man just carry. Well, I won't say he's gonna carry both of games too, all of the games, but he's been playing so well. This man just been on point with his honor, was bullying the Oleron. Same thing happened in game 2 with this Medusa, bullying the Oleron. Start making rotation, win team fights for Galactic Gangster, but it's such a great team come from Galactic Gangster. You have to give credits for that because the Kumba is so big. Everybody has so much CC. It's so hard to deal with that much CC, especially when we were Zhongkui and Oleron that doesn't have any escape. So you're pretty much stuck with the Sobek plug plus like all the CC that Kumba has with the, like we saw the damage, the Loki damage. Like that was such a great team comp, and they just make it work so well. That chemistry is just super insane coming from the. For a new team, it's really impressive to see them playing that way.
Yeah, it's looking super strong for these guys. They are just doing really well together. It seems like they're meshing super well, and that was a pretty dominant set from the guys in their first game in the STL.
Yeah, well, at the same time, you have to give credit to Ahh Stop Smite. They give them a fight. Game 1 maybe a little bit more than what we saw game 2. But yeah, Ahh Stop Smite, great Apollo, great on bats. The jungler has been on points. And also the Oleron, that's maybe the reason why we don't see him as often as we do, because the Hunter is so good right now with the Berserker shield. Like we saw the Medusa build it. Like there's so much great item for the Hunter right now. We know that the Ring of Hecate got nerfed a little bit earlier this season. So I just think the Hunters are way better than the mage ADC right now. So I won't say the Oleron was like just give them a loss, because he did so much great things in both of the fight. But the Medusa, which like we saw how much the difference of a Hunter can do. We know the Oleron ult is so good in team fight, but I just think the damage from any of other Hunter can just, that's what we like we saw in that game, can make a difference. And honestly, Galactic Gangster looked super impressive as a new team.
They definitely did, and they picked up a 2-0. Did Galactic Gangsters in their first game in the STL. Looked super well together. And speaking of looking well together, we have Muffin Man on the Medusa here for our interview. Muffin Man, congrats on the first win for you guys.
Thanks, man. We just kind of came into it, felt confident, we're able to pull it off.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys looked super comfortable together as a team. How much have you guys played together? Like, you guys look pretty good chemistry-wise.
So, at the start, it wasn't looking so good, but we've been throwing in. I mean, if you ask any SDL team, we've been begging people for scrims. We've been trying to edge people to give us those scrims. So we've been working on that a lot together.
Yeah, I want to know, like, what is the padding or like the role that you have to take as a new team to be like able, like, what's the padding or the role to be able to just build a chemistry in that league and just show off? Like, after 2 weeks, you guys look like a team that been playing together like since the last months or like the last 5 months.
It's honestly just scrimming. I mean, if you look at like our scrims, there'd be like, oh, we have like 4 scrim days in a row. And so you just got to get those scrims in. You got to get casual games in. You know, even if it was just like me, Banjo, and Camo, we'd still play together just to, you know, get as much of that synergy as we can in that short period of time we had to prepare for these games.
Yeah, that mid 3v3 is definitely important, and that's definitely a good key that you guys were, you know, queuing together and playing together. During that first game, there was a, you know, a part of that game where you guys had the lead, you were snowballing it, and then it started to slip away for a little bit. How did you guys sort of just corral yourself together to just pull it through and come out on top?
So instantly, I think you're referring to that part where like they stole Fire Giant and they started to build it back up, and instantly we're like, we got this, guys. Like, we're playing well. They got a Fire Giant steal. They kind of killed us off a little bit. We overstayed a little bit, but we're still playing well today, and we're still confident in ourselves.
So really confident as a team, and everybody as a player looked really confident. And I want to know, like, when you guys saw the Ganesha pick after in game 2 picks and bans, was it really in your mind to say like, okay, well, you guys want to play the mirror match? Well, we're gonna play the Kumasilla. It's just something that works so well for you that you guys just, if it's free, we're just gonna run it.
Yeah, I mean, Scylla, Paul played it at Worlds, you know. So Dino's also been doing really well in that Scylla, especially in those scrims. He's been putting in some plays, and Kamazot's, he just like, his Kumba is just really good. Like he's been able to peel a lot more on that Kumba and keep whoever wants to go on to me and Dino off way better on his Kumba. And so we've been prioritizing that pick for him.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely impressive from you guys. Definitely a good debut. You guys played really well together, and I mean, it looked pretty good. Looked pretty good as a set. But definitely a good start for you guys. And yeah, if there's anything else you want to say, or
I want to ask you another question. Is there any like teams that you guys are looking to fight, or like where do you guys see yourself like in the playoff, or like or for the rest of the season? Is there like any challenge that you guys are looking for, or like what's the next plan? Like, are you guys looking for something, or like where you see yourself for the playoff?
I mean, we've kind of gotten a little bit of a feel based on scrims. They're obviously not real games, but there still gives us an idea, and we feel right now we're just under that top echelon of teams in the SDL, and so we're gonna be gunning for VHS and iFeed together, and we're gonna try and beat them once we face them.
Well, we're gonna take that challenge, and I'm really excited to see you guys pull out the first win of the season for you. So I'm really excited to see how y'all are gonna play for the rest of the season. And again, congratulations on the first win. Y'all probably gonna be looking for more wins. So I'm pretty happy to see you guys winning the first set, and just enjoy the night.
Will do.
All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up for the interview. Great set there from Muffin Man, and that's gonna wrap it up for us on the cast. Thanks to everyone involved. This was a Scare pull up on the chair one with Mark Wings and Rose on the stream. And that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.